Good morning, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to World This Morning. I'm your host, Ahmed Nawaz. Today is a very, very special show indeed. Of course, we know that it's the 23rd of March, and it's been about 80 years since the actual idea of Pakistan was implemented in terms of saying it practically. But the fact is that things have changed. In 80 years, we've got new challenges, we've got a new dimension that we're seeing. Our youth is definitely very vibrant, as has been stressed by our leaders as well. But the fact is, once again, that I say that new challenges pose new domain of work that all of us need to do, and with a shared responsibility. Of course, it's glad to be a Pakistani. It's always proud to be a Pakistani, but the difference should be there that we shouldn't be mostly proud Pakistanis. Let's be proud Pakistanis everywhere, not just for certain reasons. Of course, COVID-19 in between has been creating havoc throughout. It's sad that a lot of things that we want to celebrate this day through have been called off, including the 23rd of March parade as well, the military parade that we witnessed, and of course other such ceremonies that were due to take place. But nonetheless, I think this is a global something that we've got to fight together as one, as we achieved Pakistan back in the days as well. And I think with our panel that is here today, we're going to be discussing all of these new challenges and actually knowing how can we play our part to be proud Pakistanis and of course contribute towards nation building, which has also been a key element always. I've been joined first of all by Mr. Sabauddin, who is an author as well, and I would more say that he's a motivator because the work he's been doing, I think a lot of people can follow suit. Good morning, sir. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Islam, it's a pleasure to be with you.
Sir, good to have you as well. I've also been joined by Miss Afshan Tehseen Bajo, who's a social activist and an educationist as well. The good thing about ma'am is that she's a regular feature of PTV World, and we get to know a lot about her ideas and the work that she's doing as well. Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good to have you on the show. Thank you so
Same
much.
here.
I've also been joined by educationist and he's an assistant professor at the National University of Modern Languages as well. I've been very honored to have him on the show since, I've been learning a lot from him back at my times in the university. He's none other than Mr. Asif Rasool. Assalamu alaikum, sir. Good morning. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. Thank you very much.
And I've also been joined by someone very special. He is a person who sung a national song specially, and I think this is as creative as it can get. He's none other than Mr. Abdullah Awais, who's from the City School. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum salam. I'm good.
Good morning. Thank you so much for coming. Right, sir, let's talk about 23rd of March first of all. We've always highlighted the day and its history every time, but like I said, that in about 80 years now, there are certain challenges that are here. We are evolving as a nation as well. So we can see that there is something new every day that we've got to live up to.
But first of all, we have to understand two things. Before discussing the challenges, we have to know where we stand. What Pakistan is and what Pakistan is destined to be. And then we'll come over to the challenges. First of all, we have to believe, we have to understand that Pakistan is a gift. The creation of Pakistan was due to divine intervention. And secondly, the blood of hundreds and thousands of people who have sacrificed their life for freedom is in the very foundation of this country. Having understood this, our attitude of looking towards the country changes. Now we look at Pakistan as a gift, and we understand this gift is supposed to be valued, it is supposed to be taken care of, it is supposed to be protected, and our challenges are these three. The duties and responsibilities of an average Pakistani. The duties that are the obligations, obligation meaning by the abidance of law and following our duties, and the responsibilities towards our fellow citizens. Now from here on, when we know this is where we stand, we come to the challenges. Our challenges are in three domains. First, governance. Second, economy. And third, mending the social fabric. So when we will touch one by one all of these, then we will understand what challenges are. But having said everything, we are a very resilient nation. We have seen wars. We have fought war on terror. We have seen the aggression on our borders. We have seen pandemics and epidemics and contagions attacking the country, and like recently it has been. But please remember, Pakistan, if we believe it's a divine gift. It is here to stay. And there is no power on this earth that can undo Pakistan. And I quote words of my Qaid.
Definitely, sir. That is the fact, and that's what the Quaid-e-Azam said. And I think Pakistan Day every year gives us a chance to reflect on the words of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and definitely, follow suit as well, because the principles of unity, faith, and discipline are something that determine our life as well, and that would make us go through the course of history as well. Ma'am, as sir mentioned as well about these new challenges in different domains, if we just see in the recent times, Pakistan has really emerged as a nation. We were always fighting the war on terror, came out of it successfully, so much to share in that domain. But in terms of so many other things, Pakistan is now leading not just in the region but the world.
Definitely, first of all, I would like to thank PTV for holding that beautiful program, because there can not be any other time that we think about Pakistan and the importance of 23rd March. What were those factors that, paved the way to have the realization of an independent state, Pakistan, where we are here enjoying with our heads held high, with pride, with happiness, and just going to lead the world, as you yourself mentioned. And the importance of this day can never be, understood, realized until we saw all that in our neighboring countries, where all those Muslims who are living in minority have been suffering. And that was a time when we decided, our Qaid, our leader decided that, the Muslims should have their own independent state, where they could exploit their potential, they could live according to their own, wishes, according to their own lives. They can just build a nation. And now in this era, we see how Pakistan came out of all those challenges, in spite of the fact that, lots of our enemies tried their best to put us back, to put us against the wall, to lead our nation into different difficult directions. But just getting advantage of our nation, our strategic location, our overall, all the youth in place, we have been able to show to the world that this is a resilient nation, where we can emerge all sorts of challenges, we can meet the challenges, we can show to the world that Pakistan and its nation have always been there and meeting and addressing all types of, be it terror, be it any other, problem we have been facing. We can lead the world, we can show the world that together we can stand above all types of challenges Pakistan, if Pakistan has been facing. And now is a high time that we sit, we reflect, we see, we analyze that how this population, who is almost more than 50% of our population consists of young people.
Yes, ma'am.
So how we can play a role in nation building. That youth has now to lead. Now this youth has now overcome all the challenges, and they have to take us above all those miseries which, God forbid, we have been facing so far.
Definitely, ma'am. I think you put it out brilliantly that you need to realize these challenges as well. And that's a fact, of course, that, I think freedom is the biggest gift or a biggest blessing that you can have. We can just see, as ma'am mentioned as well, minorities being treated in our neighboring country. Then, of course, there are certain factors, Article 370, the revocation of the Freedoms of Speech Act as well in different countries that we see around the world, and a lot of other places, including Indian occupied Kashmir as well. I think once you see those miseries, you realize what big of a blessing freedom really is. Sir Asif, you're directly involved with the future of Pakistan. We can say that without a doubt. Once you talk to them, once you interact with them, what do you see? Do you see that urge to take up these challenges head on? Do you see that willpower to ensure to make Pakistan the land it's destined to be?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much. First of all, I'll just start off with this day. Why? What's the purpose? Like when we celebrate something, I mean, it's a sense of achievement which we feel. And then we just reflect back in that specific scenario. Why? When first time they demanded with full conviction, with full force that we really need a separate homeland. And after just getting this, they also set certain targets, and there were certain purposes as well. So like today, we have got to just put all those purposes, what we just designed, that are we heading in the right direction. Second, we have got this 21st century, it has got its own challenges. And when it comes to academia, so academia has got to streamline these young, because we have got like almost 60% young population. And if we are able to properly provide them with the best education, where we have got certain issues and problems, we have got to just streamline this as well. Yes, if you give them what I have seen in like previous 2 semesters, the young, whatever the university you go into, I have been to a different faculty as a visiting faculty member, and I've seen it doesn't matter from which class they are in. If you properly guide them, believe me, they are going to follow you in a wonderful way. So I believe in this thing that if we are going to provide them with this right direction, especially in academia, and I would love to quote this Yuval Noah Harari. Is one of the books like 21 Lesson for 21st Century. So I am just a person who completely believes in this technology. So we have got to make them aware about this so that they, when it comes to future challenges and problems and how they've got to survive. Look, talking about this 21st century, it's so fast. I mean, just look at these first 20 years. The way these changes, they are taking place, and I mean, unbelievable. So now we have got to prepare people for this aspect. So we have got to put like specific perspective in education, for example, critical thinking, very good decision making, teamwork and all that. And they have got to time and again reshape them. Because in the previous all years, in the previous centuries, for example, you joined this field, I came into academia, so people just survived in one field, or a few changed their field. But now in 21st century, according to this Yuval Noah Harari's perspective, time and again we have got to, and just see the pressure. For example, if today somebody tells me that, well, Mr. Asif Rasool, you have got to join a totally different field. So just see the pressure. For example, right now, the challenge which we have got in academia, all faculty members, that we are into this teaching, like where students are before us, and now we are going for this online, which is a great challenge. And all of us, like, we are tuning into it and we are trying to just go. So I'll just conclude that if we are going to provide them with the proper path, and if at national level, if our goals are very clear, if they are provided with the proper direction, and ultimately these youth, they're going to perform wonders.
Definitely, definitely they are. I think rightly put. Awais, let's talk about you and the song that you've created. So why, first of all, how did you create this song, and why? What made you feel that I want to create a song?
Actually, the sole purpose of making this song is to instill patriotism among the youth, as we pledge that we will work hard and try our best to this nation. And it gives a very good, positive message to the world that Pakistani youth is trying hard for its homeland.
Definitely, and I think we're talking so much about the youth that we've gone a very, I think, charismatic presence of them here as well. But I think before we continue with the program and talk more to our guests, I think we should have a listen to what Awais has achieved and the song he's created as well. So let's just take a listen.
बनके तारे इस वतन के
Well, wow, I must give it to Avais. The composition, the lyrics, and everything. It doesn't look like that you would say that this is such a young lad doing all of this. Certainly looks like he's got a great future ahead of him in this industry as well. So, Avais, you know the importance of 23rd of March, don't you? Why do we celebrate Pakistan Day?
23rd March is also called Pakistan Resolution Day. It is actually celebrated to commemorate the Pakistan resolution passed on 23rd March 1940, which later led to the creation of Pakistan.
Well, well put. Thank you so much. That's absolutely right. Well, boy, I tell you, kids are getting smart these days. It's crazy now with the amount of technological advancements and everything. But that's why we're so happy, and that's why we put so much in the youth. And I think that right amount of investment in the youth as well is what is important. But I'd especially like to give a lot of credit to Avais's parents here as well, because I, for once, and of course his teachers at the same time, because I've been involved in a career journey where my parents have been supporting me on platforms where I never thought I could actually make it. And I think that amount of support from your parents, and then the right amount of guidance from your teachers, because I always say that a huge bunch of students are all the same for a teacher, but to pick the diamond in between is certainly very, very important as well. Sir, we did talk a lot about the challenges. One thing is for sure that we cannot ignore that there are certain elements that still we need to work on. For example, basic education to everyone, basic healthcare to everyone, reaching out to all those far-flung areas. But would you think that the first thing has to be the feeling of being one, because certain segments of society have still felt that they've been deprived?
Before I go on this, I will just like to make a, not many people might know this. 23rd March is actually our Independence Day. Although we celebrate our Independence Day
On 14th,
on 14th August,
yes.
But actual Independence Day is 23rd March. Why I'm saying this? Because on 14th August, Pakistan was given a status of a dominion. But actually, on 23rd March 1956, Pakistan got rid of that dominion status, adopted its first constitution, and then became a full-fledged sovereign state. Prior to this 23rd March 1956, Pakistan was a dominion under the British Crown. So, coming over to the question you asked, Pakistan is not destined to be a separate homeland for the Muslims of subcontinent only. Pakistan is destined to be the leader of Islamic world. Pakistan has been designed in the grand design by Almighty that it is destined to take the entire Islamic world and Muslim Ummah towards a better, bright future. Now, this is not an easy task, but we are a very nascent, a very young nation. Not even, 8 years, 78 years have passed and we have attained our freedom. Evolution is a process, and we are evolving in a very positive direction, and with such a rapid pace that the Pakistan that was unable to pay the salaries of its own employees 50 years, 60 years back is now a nuclear power, is now a country where it stands with pride amongst the Committee of Nations, where the word of Pakistan in the region and all around the world is taken as the word of a responsible nuclear state. Coming over to the challenges, every nation, every country has to face its challenges and have to address them. But Almighty has blessed us with each and every resource. He has given us the tools and instruments and the resources to build our way, to make our road to the future, and now it depends upon us how we go forward. As I said, that the strength of Pakistanis lies in our resilience, in our commitment, in our devotion to the country. Till the time children like Avais and soldiers standing on the borders,
Yes, sir.
and professionals committed to do their work.
Definitely, sir.
in various forms.
It would be, sir, I'd be coming back to you in detail on this as well. Ma'am, we know that currently, if we see the present scenario, then there are certain things that have been initiated just to ensure that our society progresses as a whole, including the Kamyab Jawan program, youth business loans that are under the Prime Minister's initiative, Sehat Insaf Card, so many other things. The President, the Honorable Dr. Arif Alvi, has stressed the importance of artificial intelligence and, of course, coping up with technology at the same time as well. Do you agree that these kinds of initiatives would take us definitely forward in the long run?
Definitely, all these steps are very positive, and every day we are hearing good news in terms of certain good legislations. You know, if they were not in place before, they have been passed by the Assembly. Just recently, yesterday, the President passed a legislation on child protection, or many more other programs of social protection, which all the governments, particularly this government and the previous governments, have been taking place. So I believe that keeping in view the importance of this day, that what were those factors, what were those issues the Muslims have been facing in the past, and that led to a creation of Pakistan. And then starting from there, from now that 70 plus years have passed, and where do we stand, and then counting on all the blessings of Allah in terms of having this piece of land. As I mentioned before, its geostrategic, location, and then all the resources this land has been blessed with, and then all the seasons, all types of,
I wonder sometimes that even God would think that, I've given them everything now.
This is everything, all seasons, all types of land, demography, topography, location. Sometimes I've heard that we fall in the first 4 nations of, being intelligent nation, then the country with having more than 50% of its population, youth. So all those win-win situations and positive factors are there. Now is a time that here all the key stakeholders should think what type of now steps need to be taken to weave all these positivities and to converge all these available opportunities under the blessings of Allah that lead us to have a more stronger, stable, prosper Pakistan. For that, the leaders, the stakeholders would have to be united, as the very first lesson our leader Quaid-e-Azam said, unity, faith, discipline, that we have to be at one page. We have to shun aside the rule of division and the vested interest and the governance and all those factors, and we have to think of Pakistan where we can come forward and we can support this nation. So we have to have the realization of this determination, this sincerity, and this strong will for the nation building. And having all these factors in place, we will have to invest in our nation. Why? Because if you see the history, how do nations progress? It is a human investment. The moment you build in, to invest in human development, automatically you see China, all other nations, automatically all the nation is on the path to progress. So now we have to see what type of policies need to be in place, what type of institutional development need to be in place, and particularly what type of initiatives the current government needs to take so that the nation should be more we should harness their potential, and we should exploit all their energies in the right direction. Because if we see how the here and there from all the vested countries, they are bent upon through these hybrid generation warfares and all other tools, while facing and keeping in view all these challenges, we have to keep our energies intact and invest in our youth in terms
Definitely.
of their putting them in the mainstream of development.
Definitely.
Education, it is not only education. Up till now, if you see, we have been very, very academic. We have to link all that academia
And
with the active workforce and the work and the future of work, how these academia can be linked with the industry, how their energies can be automatically be used, and they could be put into business, into jobs, into any other initiative they want to take. And I must say here, I acknowledge that At this point of time, our youth are very vibrant. They have quite, enormous energy. with
Potential at the same time.
And the way they walk, the way they think, it is, beyond your imagination. Just yesterday, my daughter was writing an essay for this 23rd March, and I was amazed the way she connected the history with the present, our current scenario, and then she just talked about the future.
At the future as well. It's
So-
very important to realize the future as well, and I definitely always stress upon the fact that all of us need to realize where we're heading. But since ma'am also mentioned about her daughter writing the essay, I must say, because a lot of us are confined to your homes as well, so don't use this time to just give it away. You need to utilize this time when you're at home. I've heard from a lot of parents that their children are doing a lot in terms of staying at home and exploring some new avenues as well, and that's how productivity should be going. Sir Asif, there's a very famous line of a movie called Enemy at the Gates, where it says, where the general says, "I'm done with everything, what should I do?" And his other comrade said that give them hope. Unfortunately, we still have certain elements in our society which are hell-bent upon promoting that negativity, and we have issues like domestic violence. We have issues like where children are not being supported by certain elements. They're being put down, and child labor and so many other things. But if we give them hope, it might go a long way.
We have got to basically, this is like hope is a kind of survival mode. It really helps us. Looking at this direction, like if we look at certain specific events in Pakistan, for example, some months back I went to Lahore and I saw that when they properly imposed this helmet, it was very compulsory for the people. Now on one side, law was in the true spirit taking care of everything, and I saw all Lahoretis who were on bikes, 98%, they all of them, they were just wearing that. Similarly, like we have got this issue of like plastic bags and all that.
Yes, sir.
So they started off with this. So we have got this, direction on one side, like, and in this regard, I especially appreciate Prime Minister Imran Khan, because he's a genuine leader in the sense. For example, when I look at this formation or establishment of this hospital, Shaukat Khanum, like when he presented this idea, so there were like perhaps 22 people. So 18 people said that, well, it's impossible. The guy stood, and we see it there. Then we have got this Miawali University. That is my area. Believe me, when I see this quality education, and especially on one of this annual session, there was this one lady who was standing there, and she was appreciating that, like I was not in a position to provide this kind of education to my son, but he got graduated from this university, and now he's just earning all like 70 plus. I was so happy that there is someone. So we have got a Prime Minister who is who truly believes in this thing, and he's also going to provide with this. And similarly, we have got to develop this aspect among, for example, as faculty member, people who are working in the multiple fields. So if we are just going to develop this perspective, we have got a lot many people in the industry. For example, Tiger Woods, he lost. When he started working, there was a ray of hope. Every day he used to go there, and people used to laugh, make fun of, ridicule. That, come on, that's not possible. We have never seen in the history of golf that somebody is going to stand up once again. And after 8 or 10 years, believe me, the way he just won.
So
I
one
was
of the
watching CNN.
greatest comebacks in golf.
And believe me, all the people who were just making fun, they had like tears in their eyes.
They called
And
him
they
an
all
old
said-
man. I
Yes.
know, yeah.
So basically, this is a kind of hope which is there inside us, which really pushes us
Definitely.
to carry on, even in the face of a lot many issues and problems. For example, the way we have got this coronavirus right now. So still, people are there. They're just developing hope and this positivity. The other day, I was just talking to one trainer, Agnes Khan. She's UK based. She married to a Pakistani doctor. And we were just talking about this positive and negative mindset. She said that one problem with this negative mindset is that, you just go for so many unreasonable things. And it's happening right now in UK. Even like if you visit big shopping plazas, even tissue papers are not available. Still in Pakistan, people are in control. Like we see certain bad news that, well, people are just
Hoarding
they've
and
increased all that,
profiteers and
okay.
everything, yes.
And I have seen like so many drives on social media that, you know, we have got to take care of people who are on the daily wages. Right now they are in not in a position, please take care of the people. Then got like doctors. The other day I saw like one best example in which they invited a journalist. He just came and he said that I went for a fake news. I really say sorry for that. And he joined hand. And then people from media, they went to all the way to see the doctors, and they provided them with the mask and all that. So we got like the best example the other day. I really appreciate Bilawal Bhutto. You know, the last day press conference, the way you had, now we stand with Prime Minister Imran Khan.
And that's the way it should be. I think Sir has pointed out that all political parties, all different segments of society need to come together as a whole, because once we call this a pandemic, then it's a world effort. This is not a single man or a single country or a single segment of society's effort. It becomes an effort as a whole. And even if that's why we talk about the importance of self-hygiene, self-quarantine and everything, that each and every one of us can play our role, a very small role, but it could go a long way in terms of the society as well. Abdullah Wes, tell me about your school first of all. How do you celebrate 23rd of March at your school?
23rd March at our school, we celebrated with zeal and enthusiasm. We have songs, tableaus and speeches, but this time we have a special 23rd March as we sung this beautiful song.
This song as well, and this, like I said at the start, that certainly this is a song that would go a long way as well. Sir, you've highlighted the importance of Pakistan and the destiny that it is due to achieve, it is achieving already as well. Can you please highlight also the importance of Pakistan as a global leader in terms of so many things, including the Afghan peace process that we've recently had? What a remarkable role Pakistan has played, definitely, in terms of diffusing tensions between Iran and Saudi Arabia, the United States. Once again, Pakistan came up as a regional player in this as well.
Pakistan is a very unique country, you see. And Pakistan has been putting its weight and influence for the purpose of peace around the world, not only in the neighboring countries, but also out of the region. For example, Pakistan is one of the biggest countries, largest countries, with troops who are serving the United Nations in various peacekeeping missions.
Yes.
And then, wheresoever Pakistan finds a chance to intervene, to establish peace, it is doing that. And it's not doing from now, it is doing it from the day one as a responsible country. Afghanistan was in turmoil, and due to the turmoil in Afghanistan, Pakistan also suffered a lot. But despite all the machinations and engineering and espionage network established by the hostile agencies in Afghanistan, Pakistan at last managed to establish, bring people close together on the table for talks. Pakistan has a remarkable influence in the Middle East. Pakistan has wonderful friends all around the world who understand the importance of Pakistan. And I think Pakistan will continue to put its weight in places where there is a requirement to establish peace, where it is a requirement to make reconciliations. There are only, I have two verses in mind. I would spell this out. For this goes good for the entire nation and also for our government. First is, Tu rahnawar de shauq hai, manzil na kar qabool. And the other is, Sitaron se aage jahan aur bhi hai. But abhi ishq ke imtihan aur bhi hai. Still we have to go a very long way. Pakistan, inshallah, it's my belief, and it's what I want people to believe, that Pakistan is destined to lead not only the Islamic world, but the entire global community into a better future.
Into a better future. I think Sir definitely puts it out in an optimistic way. And that's true, because I always believe that Allah has some kind of special blessings for people of this part of the world, and that certainly is for there to see as well. But like I said, ma'am, we're, like I said, mostly proud Pakistanis. Unfortunately, we won a World Cup, we're Pakistanis, we've achieved something around the world, we're Pakistanis. What about self-realization in little steps? How many of us would stop at the red light? How many of us would not throw litter outside? Basic, I think, things that we can do in terms of a society.
I think, as already my fellow colleagues have mentioned, that and first of all, before just talking about it, I would like to just say a few more words about Pakistan's initiatives. And I must say, that lots of credit goes to the current government for its foreign policy. The way we emerged, at the international arena as a country who started leading, who started showing to the world that what Muslims are, what type of glory they had, and we just shunned aside all the negative notions about Muslims and Islam, and the way we, started emerging as a positive nation, and the way Imran Khan went to the United Nations, and for the first time he talked about all the Muslims all over the world, their contributions, and how certain negative elements with their vested interests have been trying to, malign our image all over the world and destabilize us. And with the beauty with which we emerged, we responded, and how on our left and our right, all the different blocks who have not been complementing each other, we following a policy of equality, we kept a balance not only in the region but amongst the superpowers as well. So this shows that the talent is there, and if there is strong leadership available, and if there is political will, you can do wonders. And recently we have had examples, and whenever the leadership, the political, leadership has shown a strong political will of a nation building, definitely nation follows.
And we say from terrorism to tourism has been a big journey.
Of course. See, you just see the example of Abhinandan, the times when India was trying to attack us and having, big things about Pakistan, that we will destroy them in an hour and we will come over and have a cup of tea, and the way we responded and the way our nation responded, taking them lightly, and the way their media and their nation responded with a very much negativity and abusive language and all those negative notions,
Yes.
which was an their
a hallmark of them
they
now.
expose
Yes.
themselves to the entire world. So until and unless, as I said, if there is a strong leadership and a political will, all the political stakeholders are united and just coming out of their personal gains, they focus on the nation building. Nation is always there looking towards them. They always follow, and we have seen in the history, near past, even recently, whenever our nation has faced any challenges, everybody stepped out of their houses and started contributing, starting supporting. So we have to get advantage of their positivity, that potential, that goodness, that we are always there to serve, they are always there to do something. So trend has to be set by someone,
Yes. Leading.
up there,
Yes,
who are
absolutely.
leaders. Once they set an environment, once they are able to set a systemic, changes of a system of having systemic changes, definitely automatically, things will started improving. And the foremost thing is, yesterday just we heard a very good news that this credit goes to this government of working upon a unified curriculum for the whole country.
Which
You
was
see,
needed, I must
For
say.
the development of any nation, you need to provide them education and awareness. Once the education and awareness is at the doorstep,
Things change.
automatically the process starts with more vigor. So those indicators are already there. Education, sort of other child protection policies, other social protection
Health, yes.
programs and other health programs. Now we have to see how we have to implement them in true letter and spirit with good governance, because
Definitely.
implementation is always the problem. And how we have to take all our nation on board with us to have hands in gloves and to see how we can complement, the efforts of government and with the efforts of all the civil society.
Definitely,
and when
the
that
synergy in
thinking,
between, yes.
What leadership has to do to generate that thinking, to generate that passion, to bring them, towards
Absolutely.
that support and cooperation for nation building.
For nation building as well. I think that is the synergy in between the government and its people, progress as a whole as well, is definitely very important. Definitely coming towards the close of the program now, because of shortened time. I wish this could go for hours and hours, but definitely we've got to take the time concept into perspective as well, but also realize that the whole day is not just there. I think throughout the year, throughout your time, you've got to support this. Sir, final message you'd like to give to all the people out there, especially the youth, that can definitely change our destiny?
Number one is that they should exactly understand this 23rd March basic purpose of celebration. And now we have got this era of technology. So through this they can feel. For example, when people were migrating from India to Pakistan, and the problem and issues which they saw, and the horrendous stories which we listen. So we always feel very happy. And currently, right now, what's happening in India, we've got clear videos, the way violence is going on against Muslim. So we should we should be very thankful to Almighty Allah by providing us this wonderful land. And now we have got to work for the betterment of this land in with this true spirit, by really taking care of this as a Pakistani, I've got to perform my job properly, and all of us, if we are going to do it in a wonderful way. So we've got very efficient processes, and we will see this development, inshallah.
Definitely, inshallah. Abdullah Wais, would you like to say a message to everybody out there on the special occasion of 23rd of March?
My message for everyone is that never lose hope. And you should do something for your country which is really important, which can be useful for the homeland.
The homeland as well. Thank you so much. I think Abdullah Wais has just given us that highlight that we wanted to take out as well. But Mr. Sabauddin, Ms. Afshan, Mr. Asif Rasool, and of course Mr. Abdullah Wais, thank you so much for being on the show. I think all of you have given me so much hope that I think that we as a nation would definitely, like you mentioned, destined to succeed, as you mentioned, as in a harmony with the government and the people. True leadership, definitely important, and sir, of course, hope and everything is there as well. That sums up today's program as well. But I'd leave you with a couple of lines that I've always used on Pakistan. I think that need to be followed with letter and spirit, but they are what inspire us, and they are that: take my love, take my land, take me where I cannot stand. Burn the land or boil the sea, you can never take Pakistan from me. And I think that gives us the hope that we should be Pakistanis and proud out loud as well. From me and the entire team, 1, 2, 3, good morning.